All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome into Locker Room Sports Talk. Glad you could come by and hang out with me here for a few minutes of your day. What's going on, Big Zach? Good to see you on here, my man. Make sure everybody is hitting the old thumbs up button over there. We sure would appreciate it. Today, we got a lot of stuff to talk about. Come by, sit down, let your hair down, and let's figure it all out together. First of all, I guess we would probably want to talk about some news happening today. I think everybody has known that Mr. Coach Moore was fired up at Michigan. I think everybody's probably, most people probably around here are probably tired of hearing about it. And and if you've been at work all day, you may not know some more details. So I will share a few details that I have learned through the day and talking to two different people. One person that we do know come from Big Ten and play some small ball up there that I talked to. So basically, I guess we can break it down this way. I'll just put this into a 1 minute thing because I don't want to spend a lot of time on it. We got better things to talk about. ACC dropped their new schedule today, 9 conference games. That is what we're going to look at very closely. And we got some comments from some guys around the sports world about why Oklahoma, some Alabama ex-players, why Oklahoma's going to beat Alabama, and to say that how great Oklahoma's defense is, and we're going to look at some facts about that. And who is the wildest pick from round one? I mean, who is somebody that we're all kind of looking at and saying, oh, man, this team here is really a wild card team that I could see them maybe going all the way with this. Somebody in this first round that y'all really like. Also, we've heard a little bit of notes come out about Ty Simpson's injury. Maybe I've heard maybe he got hurt in the South Carolina game. I've also heard and even seen some guys breaking down film showing where he may have got hurt in the Auburn game. But I don't know. I'd like your opinion on it because this is a comment-based show. It is Locker Room Sports Talk. Welcome to the show. Hit the like and subscribe button. Also, Kalen DeBoer and rumors in every coaching job around the land. I think if Gadsden State Community College over here had a job, I guess Kalen DeBoer would be mentioned for it. However, in the next sentence, the same people would say Alabama is terrible. They play terrible. They're not a good football team. It's absolute trash water. But 2 minutes before on the segment before, Kalen DeBoer's headed to Penn State. Kalen DeBoer's headed to Michigan. If he's a bad coach, then why is he considered for all these jobs? So we'll break all that down. So first, let's get this out of the way. Was it time for more to go? And this was just a whole inside blackmail job. What do y'all think? Hit the comment section over here on the side. We'll go through that and see here what's going on. Ole Miss, they got okay, he likes Ole Miss. What's the reason why the reclassification pushed back? Yeah, high school football, we'll look at the end of the show. We'll look at the All-Star game. We'll talk about that. There's a lot of things to be considered this time being, and I've heard from somebody that very close to it that they want to take their time this time and not move a bunch of teams around, like have teams from up here in the north playing in the south like they've done before. They want to do a better job this time. So Coach Moore out at Michigan. Now here's what we know, and these things are not alleged. I mean, you can Google this stuff. He got arrested yesterday. So basically, from the beginning to the end, some of these things I'll say are assumptions just because I'm nearly 50 and I've been around a while and I know a lot of these situations and how these things kind of work. I know people that's been involved in some of this stuff. Me personally, I never have. I don't see the reason to cheat on your wife. Just leave her if you're going to do that. Just be a man and man up and just leave her and pay you child support. Don't run around behind her back. So that's my personal take. It seems to me that we know that people close to the program have said for a while that Coach Moore, this has been going on for a while. Okay, we know that. Now, was it just time for him to go and they're using this kind of as an excuse to get rid of him to move on? But man, golly, it sure is bad timing. I mean, there is no coaches out there. I mean, all these coaching jobs are just, I've never seen so many coaching jobs move around. I've never seen so many different head coaches be pulled in different directions at one time. So it's terrible timing. If this was something that they knew about for a while, but I think both things can be true at once, that they've known about this for a while and the timing was just bad because what happened in the situation and the evidence brought to them from the side piece, the girlfriend, which her dad is a longtime executive in NFL, a recruiting partner. I think he'd worked with the Bears at one time. He's a high up guy that works in recruiting for the NFL. The girlfriend, the girl number two's dad. So did they hold on this information and they were going to be quiet about it the whole time? I think so. I think they were going to just say, if it never come out, that they were probably just going to turn this into, maybe he just needs some sex therapy at the end, or they just send him to some kind of therapy, right here after the ball game and whatever, and wouldn't really give a big explanation of why. So I'm thinking that they definitely knew about this the whole time, my opinion. But when the girlfriend allegedly got pregnant and they door dashed to Plan B, and this was brought up on a list that other people could see, then it is found out about. So now what I'm going to say here is alleged. This is just rumors from up there that maybe the wife knew about it and was kind of just going along with it, trying to be whatever, just to keep the family together for face. He would come home and maybe it was a situation where he slept in another part of the house and they were just staying together just from his position, because she knew the money was good and that she would always be taken care of, which she should be anyway, and the kids would be taken care of. If that's true, which would the way things are, that's not the first time I've heard that. That's crazy to think that. But that's not impossible. So if she was embarrassed by it, that it come out to public, and now she feels scorned and embarrassed, he's going to be in a lot of trouble. Now, those are the few things that we know, that this has been going on for a while. We know that because there's news of it coming out now that they knew about it back in the summer, because there was an investigation done and they interviewed both of them and they both denied it, that absolutely nothing was going on. And what's so funky is girl number two was actually the one that would, tour, like, walk the coaches' wives up to their seats. And so she's interacting with his wife. And if they've got something going on, obviously they do, or here's another side of this, that my years of living on the earth, I've seen this too. It's not true. And she's just looking for a money grab. And she brings this up to just do that, just to try to ruin him, because she's crushing on him and he's not responding how she likes it. And it has turned into a he said, she said. He goes to her house. Now, this part we know from a police report up there at Wabash County. He goes to her house and they get into it. And then supposedly he's on like a suicide watch now. So they're saying that, which guys, some of this stuff, they could turn this, however, to make it look like, oh, he's on suicide watch. They just may be holding him in protective custody because of his status there in the county, of who he is. It may not be a suicide thing. We don't know. We assume a lot of stuff, and you got to remember, bro, this stuff can be done to a Hollywood's level of how all this plays out and how they turn this and how the university wants it to look to save face for themselves. Maybe they turned into, well, it's going to go, do himself off and hurt the girl number 2 also, so we're going to lock him up. Now, he has been arrested. Man, there are so many turns that this could be. And if the wife knew and she was letting it go on and then it come out publicly to save face, or he, Coach Moore, and his wife are just as surprised by this as everybody else. And he liked her, and I thought, we worked together, but I never done nothing with her. This is all a setup job. This is a way for the university to get rid of him. Is it a setup job? I don't know. Have there been things like this happen before to run a coach off? Yes. Look what they're going to do to Harsin at Auburn. They want to get rid of him. They cooked up some stuff about him and some secretary or some young girl that worked there, and they found out none of that was true. It was all false. But what a university won't do to get their way. But if this had been going on preseason and they had investigation earlier, he just had to fill in to keep the recruits there for after Harbaugh left and went to the Chargers. Now, we do know that some staff stayed, as well as he was part of that staff that won a championship there at Michigan, and they want to keep a Michigan man as part of this club there, and that's who's going to coach the team. Boy, it's bad timing. And it sure is strange that they do this right after, recruiting, and they get all these guys signed. So now the recruits they have will be there until, the way this is written out, the way I understood it, until the new coach comes. And then you have 5 days after the new coach comes. That's the way it is written. So there could be, just from Zach, he knows too, and he's known situations like this, him not personally involved or me, but we know people and being close with people that this kind of stuff happens to. Just one, it's just crap, and this girl's just kind of making this up, and she orders a plan B to show, see, I'm pregnant and I'm having this child, and then her daddy finds out and he's PO'd about it. And she's lied to him about it. I've seen people that I know get arrested and do time for a lady lying about being taken advantage of because they got caught. They get caught. They don't like they got caught. And to save face for themselves, they ruin a man's life. That happens. That happens a lot. That happens a lot, man. Many cases, not all, but it does happen. Or the wife didn't know nothing about it at all. What happened did happen. He's been sneaking around behind his wife's back and slipped up and got this, lady pregnant, and goes up there and tries to off himself and her. You try to read something into the truth is always somewhere there in the middle, and his reaction is something to think about. But everybody don't react the same, okay? Everybody don't react the same. So what if it's this? Think about this. What if it's not true and it's me personally, I'm not doing anything. I'm not going to do anything. If it's, oldest trick in the book, they just lie on them, man. They people get locked up. We know people personally this happened to. Do you, if it's not true, do you go there and just show you bud and, make a big deal about it, and she calls the law and again, we don't know if he said he's going to off himself. We don't know that. That must be, part of the story to keep it, to keep the university. He may have went over there and showed out, and we don't know him personally anyway. He may not even own a gun. He may just went over there and either one, he went over there in anger because it's legit. And he's like, what are you doing? Why are you telling this now? Hey, I'm going to be fired. And why? Just be quiet about it. And, we'll take care of you. You'll have money and stuff. But her dad's position, obviously she don't need money or nothing like that anyway. Or it's not true. And he is PO because she's ruining his family. And he goes over there and just goes off on her. And it's like, what are you doing? Why would you say something like this this is going to get me fired? Because in this type of position, don't do it today, camera. This camera, bro, I don't know what the deal is. Yesterday it did it too. What this does in this type of position, whether it's true or not, you're fired. It's the same thing with males in teaching positions. They'll fire the teacher, and then they may find out later that it was not true. Well, it's already too late now. You've already fired the guy and ruined his image. Personal situation, I know that, like a guy working a PE class, and he goes upstairs to tell the guys to hurry up and get dressed. Let's get out here. And because you're trying to keep everybody together, keep an eye on them. And one of the young boys, while he's changing, he's putting his shirt on, and he ain't got his shirt on, and he's putting it on, and he's, coming out of the locker room like, all right, guys, all right, let's go, get out of here. I'll be downstairs. And then the kid says, well, what if we don't want it to have PE today and we want to stay up here and we'll just go tell somebody that you touched us? He could go tell that to the principal. That teacher's fired. There you going to ask questions. It's fired. Even though the guy did nothing, the student just has it in for him. They don't like him, and that's the end of it. But Coach handled it well and said, yeah, whatever, man. What if I told him you touched me first? And stop being stupid and let's go. Come on, let's go. And that's how the situation kind of fell out. But I'm using that as an example to show you how fast things can happen and how people that are not guilty, because none of us are guilty until proven so in the court of law. But these days, you're not innocent until proven guilty. Now you're just guilty until proven innocent. And I don't like how that goes. So we'll leave it at this. To boil it all down and shake it out. It's a bad situation. And if it's scenario one where wife didn't know nothing, he's really running around on her, and this come up and she had the plan B, and I feel terrible for his wife, and I hope, she does her best to make it through this, and financially she'll be fine. But I hate it for them. I hate that. Now, if it's the homegirl number two is lying and just making this up for, whatever reason, because she's got some kind of weird infatuation with him, she needs to be dealt with to the fullest extreme. The fullest extreme. He may be exonerated, and we find out all this is not true. It's like telling a jury to strike that from your notes. It's too late. They've already heard it. You've already seen what happened. And we've seen how he acted. I don't know how to say I would act if somebody accused me of something like that. Because at this point, Zach, you know what they say. You're messing with my money, bro. Yeah, more at Michigan. It's it could, Landon, it could be number two's line just to, make news and take care of herself taken care of. We've also rumored that wife knew of girl two and was kind of letting it go on, and he messed up and got her, knocked up. And then, all this comes out, and then the AD knew the whole time since the summer they've been messing around and said they had an investigation just trying to cover their own butt. And then all of a sudden they're like, well, we were going to let it slide and let him just go to some therapy class after the season, the bowl game. But now this is out. She's pulled the red trigger here and supposedly like DoorDash to Plan B or something, and there's record for this, and something about an assistant coach to help, and there's just so many different scenarios, and we don't know what any of it's true. We don't. The news will say he's on suicide watch, held in Wausau County Jail up there. That may be crap. I don't know. I'm telling you guys, if you think you figured out today's time and news, you're not going to, because they'll lie to save face. And spinning off of that, Coach DeBoer, now in the headlines to take the Michigan job. He just had a top 2-3 recruiting class. It seems like he's kind of building there. It's a tough job. And from other people that's covered Coach DeBoer for years, that's known him since back in the day, for 15 years or so ago, he is not shy of being aggressive. He enjoys being a winner. His record shows that. He's lost some games here at Bama, and Bama fans are just super sensitive about just losing, a game or two. It's going to take some time for the Saban thing to wear off, for you just, used to winning, well, Saban won, 10 games a season. He's going to win 10. He's already won 10 this year. So is things uncomfortable there because of the pressure of the fans? It shouldn't be, because you don't pay attention to fans, because if you do, then you'll be one and you won't be a coach. So I wouldn't weigh anything into it. And the Wetzel guy that does the reporting and the guy that does AL.com, that reported like Saban coming from LSU to Bama, and he's very close to it. Who's it, Chris Lowe? He said that that's not true, that he don't have any interest to go to Michigan, Penn State. He's just trying to, right now, they're just trying to get healed up and get ready to play Oklahoma. He said there's no facts at all to that. And some of this, as we've said this before, some of this is just going to be from absolute haters of the University of Alabama. They're trying to ruin recruiting, which they've already signed this class. The top wide receiver and top running back in top 5 or 10 in the nation, number ones in the state. They're trying to ruin recruiting. So I think that's where some of this Michigan talk comes from. Zach said he would be mad, but he would not have went over to her house and would have seen her in the courthouse. Yeah. Boer's NFL and the head coach for, yeah, I know. It's just, every job that comes open, there's a, park and rec job coming open over here in town. That's he's going to be open for that job. It's just the way it is. Hang on. It's just the way it is. Every job that comes open is going to be, DeBoer's name's going to be on. But in the next segment they do, DeBoer's trash. He ain't worth the crap. So that's kind of that. I didn't even mean to spend 20 minutes on that. I really didn't. I just kind of got into thinking about, different scenarios, and a lot of scenarios run through my mind about, what's going on with Coach Moore up at Michigan. And I've just seen it so many different ways. She could be lying. Somebody said, well, the wife knew about it, and then this comes out, and then she's embarrassed. So she's coming after him, and he's, I don't know. So now here's another thing about, since we're moving to the DeBoer talk. We're fixing to cover SEC new schedules just dropped today. 9 conference games for the SEC. Petiti at the Big Ten told Sankey, you will bow the knee. You will play 9 conference games, and your total overall strength of schedule will now be 7. While the Big Ten and their 9 conference games, their total strength of schedule will be 49. And you'll do that because then you'll have less teams in the playoffs. But supposedly what's supposed to happen, as they're going to meet later on, and by the way, Ben, they will meet the 23rd for reclassification for high school. I think we mentioned that earlier. Instead of this week, they're going to do it the 23rd of January. You're going to play 9 conference games in the SEC, but what they're hoping for the 16-team playoff to be added, that the SEC and Big Ten will get 4 locks. Their top 4 teams will be locked. Conference, the 2 teams in the conference title game, and then the 2 runner-ups. If that's the case, okay. But we have to value strength of schedule. And the Big Ten teams can't be 1 through 4 when their strength of schedules are, like we're seeing, like 25, 36, 21. And then SEC strength of schedules are like 1, 6, 8, 12. It's not the same. So here's the question. Since we're on DeBoer, we moved on from Michigan, and DeBoer, Michigan tied together here. This is a question, good roundtable topic. I'd like to hear everybody's opinion on this. Is the SEC conference coaching jobs, guys, are they attractive? Yes, because you can recruit good talent. Because of where you are geographically to Florida and Georgia, having that ESPN 300 rivals list with Georgia, the state of Georgia having 33 of those 300, Mississippi having 10, Louisiana had 10, Alabama had 8, and Florida had 13 or 15. I got the map. I've shared it before on the page. You're a coach looking to get in, want to play where the best players are. And you can have a good recruiting class, but we're fixing to pull up these schedules. That is a reason maybe because DeBoer could go to Michigan and win 9 games, beat Ohio State every other year or 2, make the playoffs every other year. Man, they're probably not going to complain a whole lot. There'll be some fan bases to complain about it a little bit, some fans, but they have so much other sports from hockey and lots of baseball and pro football up there. Down here, it's a little different. And also, DeBoer's following the greatest of all time, so what do you expect? So is it these SEC jobs, man, is it a real – man, you want to come here and play these 9 conference games? Let's pull. We're going to go to the schedules right here. I'm going to pull up here on the screen. Next, we'll talk about Ty's injury, and then we'll look at the schedule for the playoff schedule. Who y'all think's the wildest teams? And then I got a few names for high school all-star game that'll be happening tomorrow in Mobile. So let's see. Let's go. Right here, and there it is. Yeah, that's it. Okay. There we go. All right. Now, all right, well, we'll start with Auburn. I'm sorry. Don't kill me, Georgia fans. We'll start with Georgia. And y'all can find these website. It's secsports.com. You go to their website, and it'll pull up these new 9 conference games for the next 4 years, and they're going to rotate some teams. So Georgia, we'll just blow through this, and everybody can go find their other teams who you like and see how this lays out. So next year, the 9 conference games that Georgia will be locked into, which only leaves 3 of the days, and you'll have 1 bye week. Okay. Georgia will play next year for sure. They will be at home to play Auburn. The Florida game, they still play Florida. Looks like South Carolina game. They're going to South Carolina. Georgia will host Missouri, Vandy, Oklahoma. Not in this order, okay? Now, the orders will be shaken up, and probably they'll have it before SEC Media Days, before the summer. They will be They will be at home for Missouri, Vanderbilt, Oklahoma. They will go to Alabama next year. Georgia will be at Arkansas for 2026, and then Georgia will be at Ole Miss. For 27, they're going to same kind of team scenario, but they're going to move 2 teams around. I think it's, gosh, you're going to have 4 different teams move around. 27, they're going to be at Auburn, still play Florida, be at home with South Carolina, but they're going to host LSU. Oh, wow. Lane and Kirby, holy smokes, man. 27, LSU at Georgia. They will host Mississippi State, which I think by then this team should be reeling, man. That quarterback, has anybody seen that Taylor kid at Mississippi State? He's good, man. They build around him. They're going to be a mess. They get their defense ready. They'll be a top 15 team. And then they will be at home. They're going to get Tennessee back on the schedule. They'll be at Kentucky, at A&M, and at Texas. For 29, let's see, anything different? They're going to be at Missouri and at Oklahoma. They change those 2 up right there. For 29 for Georgia, kind of the same. Everything's kind of, they'll be home with A&M and home with Texas at LSU in 29. Okay. Let's see here. And this page is just not wanting to load. All right, that was Georgia. Let's take a look at the Tide. Alabama 2026, not in this order. Of course, we know Auburn will be at Saban Field. Bama will have at Mississippi State, at Tennessee, home for Georgia. Okay, we went over there. So a little different here. They'll be home with South Carolina, nothing big there. Home with A&M, that's new. At Kentucky, that's kind of new to us again. At LSU next year and at Vanderbilt. So a little bit of change there. Looks like Bama will be at Kentucky and home for A&M. That's the little difference. All the other games are still the home and away. Now, for 27, differently, they will be at Florida, Tuscaloosa, Alabama. The Tide will travel to Dwight Walker down there at Florida at the Swamp, 2027. They will be at no, wait a minute. They're home for Florida. Okay, wait a minute. Bama's got Florida at home, have Missouri at home, have Texas at home, and they're finally going to add Ole Miss. They'll be at Ole Miss in 27. Everything else is kind of the same. At Oklahoma, we'll see that rivalry pick back up. 28. What's different here? Kind of the same. Nothing real. They'll be at A&M in 2028. At A&M. Home for Kentucky, home for LSU. Nothing real big. At Georgia. Nothing crazy here. They'll be home for Ole Miss. So you're going to go to Ole Miss in 27. And then you won't get to host them because they're going to swap them and Georgia. Not playing Georgia in 29. But they're going to host Ole Miss. So you have to go there 1 year, skip a year. Now, see, I don't know if we're going to do home and away. Oh, boy, it's so stupid. Alabama won't be at Florida. They home with Florida, and then in 29 they'll go to Florida, go to Missouri, and go to Texas. Okay, and last we'll look here at Auburn's. All right, Auburn 26, tough, man. They're going to be home for Vandy, at Bama, at Georgia, home for Arkansas, home for Florida, home for LSU, at Ole Miss, at A&M, at Tennessee. Holy crap, that is 1, 2, 3. LSU will be ranked 4, 5, 6, 7. There'll be 7 ranked teams Auburn will play next year. 7. How in the world are they going to make a playoff? Yeah, any of these teams. Yeah, why, man? What are we doing? There's no way we're going to get any SEC. You'll have to have a locked in. By God, because there'll be freaking 9-3 in the regular season. Ain't nobody going to want to play no SEC title game. You ain't going to have no players. They're going to have their arms and legs ripped off and playing each other every week. Are you kidding me? 27 for Auburn. Anything different? They'll get to host A&M. They will be at Texas in 27. 28. They'll be home for Ole Miss, home for Tennessee. This is Auburn. They're going to be at Florida in 2028 and at LSU, at Georgia, at Bama. Good freaking luck. Listen, Indiana, it comes down here and plays at Bama, at Georgia, at Arkansas, at Florida, at LSU. They're not winning maybe one of those games. Miss me on all that bull crap. Yes, Indiana could maybe stumble down here and probably beat Arkansas. That's fine. Then probably Florida, got a new coach. And LSU's got a new coach. But it's week. This is the point. After week at LSU, at Florida, at Arkansas, then you get to host Tennessee, host Mississippi State, and then at Georgia, at Bama, and then have Vanderbilt. 29 year for Kentucky. Looks like they're going to see here. Kind of the same. They'll have Missouri and Kentucky and Georgia and Alabama at home. They'll be at South Carolina, at A&M, and at Oklahoma. Dude. Sheesh. Florida's had the toughest schedule in the freaking universe the past 5 years. Let's see what they got. I'm just curious how they Georgia, Kentucky, Ole Miss, Vandy, Oklahoma, Auburn, Missouri, Texas. Okay, not terrible. And again, y'all can find these on it. Just type in SEC.com. And remember, Kentucky's got a new coach too. And LSU. And Auburn. And Florida. LSU. Okay, guys, that's y'all got the idea on that. Holy crap, man. Holy smoking Joes. Let's hit the peanut gallery. It is. Yeah, there's guys from every conference there on the committee. Yeah, I know. I heard some Georgia fans when I posted this on the page a couple hours ago. They're like, dude, we have to keep playing Alabama. Okay, because what happens is usually they're going to play again in the SEC title game. Not always, but that's kind of the way it's been. Hey, Zach, what kind of comment is that, man? Texas is back every year. 2037, we're back. Hook 'em. Bro, Auburn they usually have that's a tough schedule, man. I'm serious, man. Auburn's got that's going to be tough, bro. If they win 2 or 3 of those games, that'll be a good year. They could, because there's only 3 more weeks and you get a bye week. They're going to schedule, Chattanooga and Citadel the week before the Iron Bowl. So that's just tough, man. Yeah, probably so. Welcome in, Gaulish, to the SEC. Yeah, we got 5 teams, man. Yeah, DeBoer's gone. He's headed to Michigan. Freaking clown. I'm just joking. All right, so holy crap. Let's see, where was we at? There's that, and this. Okay. All right, let's hit these comments. I want you to listen to this. Y'all just hang on here. I'm hoping I don't get struck for it. No, I shouldn't. Not playing but just a few seconds of it. Okay, you listen to these comments. Let it sink in for a little bit, and I just want some people's reactions. Okay, all right, here we go. It's on CBS Sports. Some dippity do, thinks it's McFadden. Y'all can do. Let me pull this over here like so, because you don't really need to see it. We just want you to hear it. Let me fix the comments, or it'll. Wait a minute. I'm trying to block this, sort of like this, and do this. If I block it, if I cover the screen, it won't strike me as bad. I don't think, if it's kind of covering it. All right. Listen up here. Talking about Alabama and Oklahoma. Okay, this is the topic right here. Just give me 10 seconds of your time.
Loss for Alabama, and then we saw what happened this year in Tuscaloosa. It's something about Brent Venables where he has had the upper hand in this coaching matchup against Kalen DeBoer. And also, you talked about how good the Sooners defensively they've been. Remember, they kind of opened up that Pandora's box in how to slow down and neutralize and most importantly harass Ty Simpson. Because before that Oklahoma Sooner loss, Ty Simpson because in how to slow down and neutralize and most importantly harass Ty Simpson. Because before that Oklahoma Sooner loss, Ty Simpson was in that Heisman conversation. Ty Simpson was performing outstanding, but it was something in that Oklahoma game where Ty Simpson did not look like Ty Simpson. He looked more like Joe Simpson. I don't even know who Joe Simpson is, but I don't think he's a Division I quarterback.
Homer Simpson.
Homer Simpson. There you go. Homer. Or Joe, either one, they're not a D1 quarterback. Oh. But that's the performance that we saw from Ty Simpson when he went against Brent Venables. So I agree with you, man. Brent Venables has done a phenomenal job at this point getting into the playoffs because they kind of been one-dimensional, leading on that defense. But when you look at the individual matchup, what he's done against Alabama, man, he's had the better end of the stick when it comes to coaching against Kalen DeBoer.
I feel like Ty Simpson's going to take that personally, being compared to Homer Simpson. You know what, y'all? Hey, I hope he does and takes it out on your Sooners, Amanda.
No. I'm just saying you guys are all about Oklahoma right now. I mean, you have Crimson. You are the Crimson Tide.
He's old school, and he's so PO'd at how they're playing. That's what is going on. But why is this guy saying, why? I mean, we have to go back. I don't even need to play it again. Why is he going? He's saying, did y'all hear what he said? He said that Venables is pretty much spanked DeBoer every time they play. He's outcoached him. We just saw the facts. They doubled them up in first downs and yardage. Where is this badass Oklahoma defense getting run through? Getting thrown all over because their DBs are garbage. Their corners can't cover. They got a linebacker and two linemen that get after it and play their tails off. That's what they got. I can't believe that they do this with Georgia. They done it with them, but you don't hear this for about Ohio State and these freaking fools sit up here on TV and make money to say that. It's not true. We just showed you the facts. Bama run for nearly 100 yards. He threw for over 300 yards. Where what he's saying don't match what's on the screen. Is he that stupid? How does these people get paid? It's hard to watch. And he's sitting there saying, Oklahoma handles Alabama when they play them. It's not even close. Venables is such a better coach, and he's really handled the board every time, outcoached him. If he's outcoached him, then why can't he stop him? Why they have 400 yards of offense if Venables is stopping them with his superior coaching style of defense? Where? Who did he stop? And Damian Harris be up there and be a Bama alum and sit there and let that ass clown say stuff like that. Just, he's lying. The proof is right in front of him. Either he's blind, he's stupid, or he's deaf or dumb. There's something. I know what it is because he hates Alabama. I know what it is. There's no doubt of what it is. Damian should have spoke up and said, excuse me. Yeah, I'm looking at the stats on the screen, and yeah, Ty's not played very well, and I'm a little PO'd at him, and I'm kind of saying all this stuff sidebar to really piss them off so they'll get mad and play hard like we had to play, because the process is we're Alabama, and it means something to wear that script today and go up there and you take care of business. It's supposed to be different here, and y'all are not representing the way we were. Turn it up. Stop whining and griping about stuff. Just go win the game and beat their tail and beat them in the ground. But don't sit up there and smile and nod with him when he's telling you that your quarterback, it should be Homer Simpson. They had 400 yards of offense on this Oklahoma defense. What are they talking about? Oof, I'm just not sure where this guy is. I have no idea. I think I made my point there. He's mad. Damian is, I get it, man. I get it. But anyway, let's see here. All right, let's pull this thing up here. Image share up on the screen. And we got pictures and screenshots and playoff. All right, now who, where, what, when, how, why. Another topic here, and let me mention this before we get too far into it. Make sure you hit the thumbs up over here on the video, man. I sure would really appreciate it. That drives these videos more than anything. Just liking it, I'd really appreciate it. And come back, hang out, man. You know, this football season's kind of going away, but I'm still probably going to be on, at least on Sundays, because there's some news to talk about and that kind of stuff. So Ty Simpson's supposedly been hurt. I've heard these rumors. He's having back spasms, and they're really working on his back a lot. Is it true? I don't know. What do we know about it in general? Just little, because DeBoer is just really tight-lipped, man, with injuries. Here's the negative to this. If he is hurt, why is he playing? Why would you start a guy that's got a herniated disc, maybe? I'm just totally blown away with that, because you have one other quarterback that's really good, and Keelan's going to be great, and he maybe just don't know the playbook yet. He's young. Man, play A-Mac. Why? If Ty's hurt, if those rumors are true, I'm very disappointed in the staff to play a hurt quarterback and losing games because he's hurt. That is Austin Mack. He'll leave. Like, he's like, Coach, he's hurt now. Put me in. I think I can handle this. This is what I'm here for. He come with DeBoer. God dang, if he wasn't that good, then he should have got somebody last year. We should have got another quarterback last year to get somebody here that can start. If you have no trust in your backup, that's what he's there for, to back up the starter if he gets hurt. I'm just very disappointed in that. Just extremely disappointed in how, if that's true, which we don't know. Now, let's see. Let me put this up. That's not what I wanted, or that either. How about that? Well, you can. It's okay. Yeah, I like this. Okay. Who of these teams here are you expecting to maybe make a run at this thing? Which one of these teams are we feeling like has the Wildcat opportunity to be the one that maybe nobody's thinking of? And I got my opinion, which is like belly buttons. Everybody's got one, except the aliens that live in the White House, you know, the ones that I'm just joking. Okay. James Madison starts top. No shot. Oregon, I wouldn't be upset if they beat James Madison. Alabama, Oklahoma shouldn't be an upset if Bama beats them. They're a better complete team. Turnovers got them beat in the last game. Tulane, Ole Miss, that's not even close. So it seems like this last game, Miami, the U, they will be traveling to College Station and play Texas A&M. This game has got all the writings all over the wall for an upset. Can Miami play with them? I watched A&M play probably 3 games, 2 or 3 closely I've watched. Some highlights of others. I watched Miami play probably 2 games. One I watched closely. I think I watched the Louisville game pretty close. Extremely disappointing there. Offensive line blocking, and I don't know, man. Defense give up some goofy plays. It was just a weird kind of game. But I did watch them play Notre Dame. So who of these here do you like? It would be an upset if Miami won. Do you think Miami's got a shot? Does Miami have opportunity to do this? Yeah, A&M, Ole Miss, good game. Let's see. Yeah, if they're playing him hurt, man, what are we doing? If he's hurt, bro, don't play the darn guy. I mean, come on. Ole Miss could truly do something hilarious, and I'm pulling for them all the way through the championship. Yeah, that would be if Bama goes out against Indiana. Yeah, we're going to go Ole Miss all the way through. I'm with you. Can Miami beat them? You know, I mean, like defensively rankings, and we've broke that down. A&M can get after Beck. He's not going to be as comfortable in the pocket. I think that's probably why they probably, win this game. And if I could quote some of the other people we just watched, these clowns that talk on CBS Sports and ESPN to say that defense wins championships, and I really like this Oklahoma defense to beat Alabama, that Alabama held to 200 yards, and Oklahoma defense give up 400. But that fool said, I really like Oklahoma's defense to win through this because defense wins championships. Who had the better defense in the game? Oh, I really like Oklahoma. The defense wins champions. Shut up. Why would you say that? Alabama defense held Oklahoma to 200 yards. He throwed for like $160. They run for like 40 yards. And like 10 of that was from a quarterback run. It was terrible. Bama defense smoked Oklahoma. Bad. So in that same line of thought, here's what you hear. Well, we really like the speed of Miami's DBs. And you know how how'd they like the speed when they were getting beat by SMU? What are you talking about? How do these people have jobs on major sports networks? God dang. Because I played college football and I can analyze it and talk about it and I'm great at it. And that means because I played college football means I'm the best at analyzing and breaking down college football. BS. Save me the crap show. Playing has nothing to do with being able to watch it and analyze it. It just means that you played the game and played it at a high level and you're more athletic than me. But I got real good eyes and I've been watching it longer than them two have. Either one of those clowns you just saw talk, McFadden or Harris, they ain't watched as much football as I have because they're about 20 years younger than me nearly. So if you hear them say it, they like the speed of Miami, their DBs to keep up with A&M. Bro, I mean, do you need to go? Are we going to get into A&M's roster and their wide receivers? I mean, we can do that. We can do that. By the way, Army-Navy game is this weekend. Talking about Texas A&M because, you know, they said Miami's DBs are so fast and by God, they'll be able to keep up with them and run with A&M, you know, up the sideline because Concepcion is a joke. Who at Miami's going to be able to run with him? Okay. Their running back, Owens, he's about 700 yards rushing. Quarterbacks rush for about 500. And Moss, here's a question. Maybe y'all could look this up. Is he going to be back at all? Marcel Reed has thrown for 3,000 yards, 25 touchdowns, 10 picks. Okay, his completion percentage right now is 62. Now, Miami. Now, you know, who did they lose to? Okay, who is A&M lost to? Oh, you mean they've beat the two ranked teams, three that they played to beat Notre Dame in a close game, LSU and Missouri, which Missouri's 25, LSU fell out. They lost to Texas. Okay, good game there. I think that Miami's going to have a tough time trying to cover Concepcion and Reed. So if you're going to play the line, you're going to try to, stop the run game. Owens kid, we talked about him. Then you've got to play back to try to cover Concepcion and the tight end. They have a tight end that makes plays too. And if you do that, well, now you're leaving Reed open to run. Are you going to spy him? Well, now if you spy him, now you lose a linebacker where now you're going to miss on some of those short crossing plays because you got a linebacker hanging out watching the QB. Oh, but I don't know nothing. What I know, because them ex-players, they know everything. They can figure it out. So we're talking about Miami and A&M matchup. Carson Beck, 3,000 yards passing, 25 touchdowns, 10 picks. Oh, wait, that's the same as Reed. Now, does Beck have any rushing? Let's see here. That would be a big negatory there. DeWalt, not even on the list. No legs. They like Fletcher Jr. and the Brown kid. I've seen the Pringle kid run some too. I like him. Fletcher's not bad. Now, the playmaker is true freshman, reclassified, DOGG, Florida high school phenom, Malik Tony, which played down there in he's from Miami, played there at a local high school, and actually was the Wildcat quarterback from about mid-season on, and nearly won the state championship game as he moved from a receiver, punt return, kick returns. Let me just tell you, Malachi Tony, freak show. Absolutely amazingly fun to watch. Great story. Great young man. Shout out to him. His parents done a good job with him. Early to practice, first there, last to leave. Super fun story. He's going to be a mess to cover. And Thomas does have 4 picks for them, where A&M DB only has one or two. Tackle wise, fairly kind of close on the day. So I just think, just me personally, I think this A&M team has got the speed at quarterback to make a difference. And Miami just really hasn't seen a quarterback with this kind of maneuverability in the pocket that Reed has. Now, Reed is skinny in the britches. Whoa, wait a minute. Moss is back. Well, yeah, I'll take A&M. Because they're going to have – A&M will have the best 1-2 punch at running the ball in the playoffs. If he is back for sure, and I hadn't looked it up, if it's for sure, no, all bets off. Now, I don't think they're going to run away with it and just destroy A&M by no means. But, guys, if Moss is back, I don't know, man. People think why ain't nobody mentioned that? They're crazy to pick Miami. How are they going? They're going to try to play up, try to cover the run with them 2 running backs. There's no way. There ain't no way. Let's see. Saving stats. I'm talking about, so you want to play up, and then you're going to not cover a nearly 1,000-yard receiver in Concepcion, 57 receptions, 10 touchdowns. He averages 15.5 a carry. So you're going to cover him, and you're going to miss it. You can't be everywhere. Oh, okay. Yeah, let's see what is the news on him. What is the news? Let's see. Loss. Injury update. Honestly, I kind of forgot about the old boy. 2 days ago, from the Austin Times, Le'Veon Moss injury update. Will Texas A&M play against Miami? Yeah. Once again, the head coach has refused to give any updates. Crap. Injury concerning his best player. Moss for about 2 months. Head coach Mike Elko previously said that Moss was slated to return by the end of the regular season after an injury, but has been tight-lipped since. Most attempts to ask about Moss' status have been met with short. Come on, man. There's got to be somebody out there that's breaking some news. Okay. Aggies Wire says, update on Monday. Mike Elko spoke to the 3rd time Aggies were selected to, and we got an ad. Blocked it. Number 10, Miami, outside President Hurricanes, blah, blah, blah. Elko provided a cryptic but positive update regarding several star players as Texas Aggies columnists his tracks and asked about specific names. However, senior running back Le'Veon Moss, who has missed the last 5 games, his names that everyone in the media numbers are asking about the Aggies fans' minds heading to the playoffs. Alongside the future NFL back, senior linebacker also Scooby Williams and senior Bryce Anderson have also been sidelined for extended periods of time. They're great. I knew exactly where we were going with that, and they all appear to be great. Unmatched starting, thrives in a balanced offense and needs a run game to help find success in the play action. Yeah. This has likely been the plan of all along, knowing that Le'Veon Moss could have returned during the regular season final versus Texas, but knowing that A&M was a lock for the playoffs, even in the loss, it didn't matter, which did occur. Elko was playing the long game, which will hopefully pay off. Scooby and Bryce Anderson will boost A&M's run defense, which struggled against. Well, you didn't tell us nothing there, Aggie Wire. Come on, Jack Wagons. What was his – okay, Leon Moss's running back has been dealing with a significant ankle injury, like a high ankle sprain in mid-October, and it is October. It's 2 months, man. He's got nearly 8 weeks. I've had high ankle sprains, and they're you got to stay off of them. Anybody that's played or run or I twisted mine playing baseball and stuff, or had one probably about 7, 8 years ago. Just step off a step, and it usually you're in a walking boot for usually 2 weeks. You're in a walking boot, and then they come back and look at it because let me tell you what a doctor told me. He had just assumed you broke your ankle than have a high ankle sprain. Really, he would rather you. Talking about Le'Veon Moss, Texas A&M running back. Could he be back? It's been 2 months. God dang, man, ain't no way he can't be ready. I mean, Tua had that tightrope surgery on his and he wasn't out but a couple of weeks. And the doctor said you would have been better to break it. If you break it, I can set it, put you in a cast, and you're back in a month. With this, it's 6 weeks. I mean, you're dead set on 6 weeks. But with him being an athlete and being strong and resilient, and God, they're not saying, man, what I bet you $1 to a donut, actually $2 to a donut. I bet old Jimmy the Fish in Vegas knows. That would completely change the betting odds for Miami and Texas A&M game. If they know that Le'Veon Moss and Bryce, their D-line guys, both going to play, Scooby and them, bro, if Scooby shows up and Moss is running the ball, A&M will be favored by 6.5. We're trying to figure out if Le'Veon's going to be back. I know, man, these guys don't, and injury reports have to release them, which for that bowl game is the 20th. They'll have to release the final report probably by 15th or 16th. It's on a Saturday. So Thursday, there'll be an injury report go out. So 17th, I guess, there'll be a final injury report to say if Moss is out or probable. Dude, that'll change. I'm telling you, that'll change betting lines completely. Man, that high ankle sprains are bad. I mean, it's your high ankle sprain month. You're done for a month. Just go ahead and put a month. Just check a month off your calendar. You're not out there running on it. You may be able to get on the bike and exercise and that kind of stuff, but you're not out there really killing it. Yeah, if they're doing a big deal like that, where they're really going to put money out there for Moss to say that he's going to start, it would change. It would change the betting lines. So the wild card team, again, pull up here on the screen. Ole Miss favored to win. Oregon favored to win. Bama should beat Oklahoma. Oklahoma, they're not good. But, man, they already lost him. I know. But they had 400 yards of offense against the great Venables defense, because defense wins championships. And Venables is taking care of Bama every time. They've just been spanking that tail for them. They're just ruthless on defense, and Oklahoma Sooners. But they give up 400 yards of offense. That Oklahoma defense wins championships. but they can't score. They only had 200 yards of offense on Bama. So it sounds like Bama's defense is better. Coach, can you answer that? You don't ever question Venables' defense. We live in our own world. Because these freaking clown reporters, man, shut up. So Miami and A&M, that's kind of the wild card game. Kind of seems like that's the one everybody's kind of feeling like Miami may be able to. I think Concepcion's going to be a problem. Moss should be back playing. If he is, and again, I don't know if Miami's really played a quarterback. Their D, has really got after a quarterback. Reed can move around, man. He's hard to cover. I mean, I watched him play closely twice. He makes bad decisions with the ball sometimes. He is a little immature in his decision making sometimes, but it's not bad. It's not bad. Well, it's Venables, man. Oklahoma, we're back. Boomer. He's going to be a problem for Miami. I don't know. A lot of people like them. Whatever. Iced coffee at Wendy's, Ben. It's a winner. Ben's he's hung up in high school football. We love him for that. Politics class 6, reading 7. Cater Coleman Russell and Chas. Yes. Yeah, I heard that. I heard that yesterday. So now, this is the end of the show. We'll wrap this thing up here, and we're gonna make Ben real happy right here, everybody. Ben, tell us about the All-Star game tomorrow in Mobile, Alabama at Hancock Whitney Stadium, 2:00. Now, is there some people around here that'll be playing in this All-Star game? Sure. Let's look through the list of players here that will be playing tomorrow. Let's see here. I think I've seen about 3 or 4 guys from around this area. I did hear that Zeke Elliott and that C.D. Morgan, top receiver and top running back in the state, committed to Alabama, have been having a great day of practice, says Coach Juice, which is coaching the team. And I'm looking for some names here. There's the Wilson guy. He's a D lineman from Jackson. Looking for some names here. Gunnersville High School. Shout out Darian. Let me zoom that in. Sorry, guys, I'm old. To Darian Weller from Gunnersville. Wide receiver, 6'5", 210. Wow. Okay. Minor High School, Connor Tyson, DB, wide receiver Jeremiah Tabb from Hoover, Thompson's linebacker Strawn and Tabb, DB, will be in this All-Star game. Clay Chalkville, which their defensive coach took the Aniana job today. Shout out to him, coach, top defense in the state. He's taking over at Aniana. Starks, DB, will be in the All-Star game. Looking for some guys. Gadsden City, Ty Sims, there you go, linebacker. Mars Hill, the Penn kid, DB, great player. The Miles kid out of Hartsville, he is a ball player. I've watched him play for about 2 years. He's a Cole Miles. Check him out. Looking for some guys up this way. Coosa Christian, Zayden Franklin, offensive line. Shout out to him. Going to play in the All-Star game. Appalachian, Eli Beard, big old lineman, 6'4", 300 pounds up here on the mountain. Come get you some up here at Appalachian. Eli Beard going to be playing in for the North. Trying to see some other North guys here. If I missed any around the area. Oxford's Caleb Wynn is a football player. Holy crap. I watched him play Moody last year. Man, he's so fast, man. He's 5'11", 5'10", maybe 200 pounds. Got him 5'11", 205. Maybe he put on a little weight since last year. He is he's a scatter machine. He's like a BB in a tin can. You can't. It's fun to watch him play. It's like he's just out there playing PE football. Caleb Williams, shout out to him from Oxford. Man, holy crap. Yes, let's see. Head coach is Coach Robert from Vestavia. Coach Ali is going to be coaching the D-line from Gadsden City. T.R. Miller, administrator, Andy Lambert, and Hartsville's linebacker coach, Steph Coach Newton. South coaches, we talked about. See, St. Paul defensive coach Barrett, Lee Scott Academy coach Daniel, and y'all may not know some of these other players. Gibbs from Viger, Daniel Jackson, receiver, good ball player. Man, he's a good player. Benjamin Russell's linebacker. Chappelle, 6 foot 210. Daniel Burns, Benjamin Russell, offensive lineman. Enterprise High School, Mason Burkhart, Enterprise. I heard from AHSA radio guy. He's somebody to pay attention to. This quarterback for the South. It's going to be really, really fun to watch. He'll play a quarter. You got the Dunn kid from Viger, also at QB. And looking for some other running backs. Okay. All right. So shout out to all those guys for making it. Man, crap. I mean, it's awesome for them to make that. Shout out to them and their family for all the hours and time you put in as a senior, and you get to go play in a high school all-star game. Hard work does pay off. No, I have. There's been interviews to my Cherokee County High School over here. Head coaching jobs open. But no names. I heard there was a name that come. He was an out-of-county guy, say somewhere in the surrounding county. Not sure who. Yeah, I mentioned him. Eli Beard, come on down here, 6'4", 300 pounds up here at Appalachian on the mountain. We play football, no doubt. Yeah, congrats to all the young men. I know it's enjoy it, have a good time. Don't rush your high school, because when it's gone, it's gone. And you get to college, you're just another number. You're a student athlete like at high school, but it's a little bit different. Enjoy this game, man, and let your parents enjoy it. Because they're not going to get to see you as much anymore. They're not going to get to see you play every game. So shout out to those guys. Yeah, you know what? I looked at sponsorship. I have put in a sponsorship package to my Dave Thomas at Wendy's. I put in a sponsorship for HelloFresh. Maybe first year I could be getting a really, really big sponsor. So be thinking about me on that. Also, I got a sponsorship package. So if you know anybody that would like to sponsor the show, I'll be glad to send you a kit that I've prepared to send out. I have 2 different packages to sponsor by the month, or you can sponsor by the year. But Wendy's does a lot of sponsorships for smaller podcasts. And, I have 1 million people come by our Facebook page a month. And, we got thousands of hours, piled up on YouTube over there. And I'd like to put in for Wendy's for a sponsorship. And I'd love to do a spot for those tendies. Does anybody have the Wendy's tendies? Here I am advertising for them. If you hadn't had the Wendy's tendies, give them a shot. Also, their cold brew coffee. It's pretty good. I took it out of the cup and put it in mine. Yep. So, yeah, maybe that'll work out. I'd love to get a sponsor from them and be able to do this more full-time and spend more time with, like, graphics and, being able to have even more information for you guys if I could do this all the time and really study it and, make designs and have more questions. I love people being involved. This is Locker Room Sports Talk. And it's supposed to just be, what it is. It's Locker Room Sports. It's not, just the Matt show or the Todd show or, it's just, I want it to be more open and it's about you. It's about you guys right here on the screen, putting up comments and y'all asking questions or answering questions. And, that's Locker Room Talk. That's conversation and bringing up good topics. And so maybe if I could get a good sponsor, I could make it even better. So, but I got some big things coming on next week. Got some moving around stuff going on. So be praying for me with all that stuff and everything. And I won't be on quite as much because just ain't no games. Army-Navy game will be this weekend. And with news to the week, I'm always going to try to come on Sunday and even in the off season and maybe throw up some Auburn or Alabama, basketball scores and just to stay in a rhythm with you guys. Tuesday and Thursday shows maybe not as much during the off season, but bowl games coming. So we can talk about those. So there's still a little bit of stuff. And as the month goes on, these games will start trickling in over the weeks. And we can get in those bowl games and talk about those and who we think is going to win. And we can really pick some winners and losers and have fun with that. So that's just a little future outlook on what's going on. But for right now, still be Sundays for sure. And as the games start coming in these bowl games and narrowing down, I'll still be on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So that's about it. Appreciate all you guys so much. And that will be very interesting. The Sweetwaters, they won their first state championship in 77, the year I was born. They ain't going nowhere. They'll figure it out. Coach Luker definitely will. Appreciate you there, Zacho. Y'all have a good week. Don't work too hard tomorrow. Be pretty tomorrow, Saturday, but Sunday, Monday, better get your coveralls out. All right. Keep your heads clear and your hearts full of God. Thank you.